Okay, so here we are, step 5. This is the final step in our workflow, Chris and I's workflow. Um, this is the process of just getting rid of the images out of Lightroom, and by that I mean exporting. So you've presumably elected to show your customer certain images, and you've done some color correcting, and you've done some tinkering, and now it's just time to get them in front of a prospective buyer, so to speak. Um, so we're going to go from the develop module of Lightroom right now back to the library module, which is a little counterintuitive because we've been talking all along about going from left to right, but we need to go back to the library module, and we need to set up our filters to hide any photographs that we don't want to show. So again, I've done this with a reject filter, reject flag. So I need to go up to my library menu. I'm going to click on enable filters, and I'm going to click flagged and unflagged photos. I want to hide any image that I've rejected. So I'm left with everything else. Now, for the newbies in the room, in the library module, when you hit the G key, so if you're looking at a full-size image and you want to look at the grid, just hit the G key. Um, if you see the image on this screen right here and you hit select all, okay, it's going to export what you see. So it's kind of if you see it and you select it, it's going to export. Um, so we talked about starting with a job folder. So we often run multiple exports at the same time. We run a web size export, which is a 600 pixel in length export, and we run a high res export, and I'm going to show you both. So here I are, I've got a selection of images that I want to export, that I want to show the customer. I've set up my filters, so I've hidden everything that I don't want to show, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do select all. And I'm going to select the export button right here on the bottom left. Um, at this point, I have to just tell Lightroom where I want the photographs to go. So I want them, of course, to go to a hard drive, and I need to say where. So I'm going to select a folder um, that is my customer folder. So we go to specific folders, the first option. So I'm going to go specific folder, and I'm going to hit choose, and I'm now going to navigate to Sue and Jeff, and I'm going to do my high-res edits first. So I'm going to select high-res edits. So again, you're just selecting um, one of these subfolders in your customer folder. I'm not going to put them in a subfolder, so I'm going to uncheck this, and now I'm going to scroll down to see my different options. Um, Using our workflow, we are not going to rename our files at this point because we did this at the onset when we imported, but you could if you wanted. Um, and these are high-res photos, so we're going to do JPEG, we're going to do Adobe RGB, and we're going to do Quality 100. Um, and as far as resizing goes, we actually have most recently elected to resize our images to 8 by 12 uh, and 240 or 270 DPI. But the reason is that we just don't sell that many images that are bigger than an 8.5 by 11 or an 8 by 10. So I'm going to select resize to fit, and I'm going to say longest edge, and I'm going to say 12 inches, and I'm going to switch this over to 300 pixels per inch, and I think some people have said actually that 240 is sufficient, but I'm just going to go with 300. Scrolling down a little further, I'm actually going to do a little bit of sharpening because these files are going to be for print. So I'm going to sharpen for glossy paper, and I'm going to just do a low sharpening. Scrolling down even further, um, I'm not going to watermark the images because they are for print, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit export. Now if you've got 1,000 or 2,000 files, this is going to take a little while. Definitely a great time to go get coffee. But you can run another export at the same time, and you'll see your status up here in the top left. So I'm going to have the same file selected here, and now this time we're going to do our web size. So I'm going to hit export, I'm going to hit choose, I'm going to go up a level, and I'm going to find that web size. I'm going to hit choose, and this time I'm going to go down, and I am in fact going to go to an 80% quality or near 80, and I'm going to change my longest edge from inches to pixels, and I'm going to say 600 pixels. and I'm going to go to 72 pixels per inch. And again, this time I'm going to watermark them. Let me take a moment to walk you through the new watermark features in Lightroom 3. So I'm going to check watermark. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to say edit watermark. And here comes the watermark tool, which is new in Lightroom 3 and greatly improved over Lightroom 2. So our company name is Riley Photographic. There's two types. There's a text watermark and a graphic-based watermark. I'm going to do text for this demo, but if you've got a company logo, a graphic works wonderful. I'm just going to type sample video here. And here I'll put a carriage return in between. Now you can select this and you can make it larger or smaller. On the right hand side you can give it a color. You can give your font a color. You can change the opacity. I mean, it's an unbelievable amount of options you have. But when you're making your selections, make sure you consider the fact that you're going to have both horizontal and portrait images. You're going to have landscapes and portraits. And so the choices you make need to be appropriate, whether it's about safety and securing your images or whether it's just about branding them. Definitely make sure you're making choices that are appropriate for horizontals and verticals. So for this situation, I'm going to click the anchor to the bottom right corner. I'm going to put it down there. And normally it would be our company logo. I'm going to go ahead at this point and I'm going to save this because I don't want to have to make these choices every time I export. So I'm going to go to Save Current Settings as a new preset and I'm going to say Video. Let's call it Demo. Demo Video. Okay, I'm going to hit Create. So now this Lightroom watermark has been saved as a preset, and I could make a number of them. So if you have different brands, you have them running 2 different studios. If you have a different style, if you've got a blog watermark versus a web watermark, it's really easy to select the different watermarks by just saving them as a preset. So I'm going to hit Done. So at this point, there's my demo video watermark. I'm going to go ahead and run the export. I'm going to minimize Lightroom. You'll see that it's got 14 images here to do. And I'm going to go in here to the web and we'll see that these files are actually being added to this location, and we'll do a quick preview. So there it is. I've got my 600 pixel in length image with my watermark on the bottom, and these files are ready to go into PicPic, which is the web-based soft proofing program that we use at RPG Keys and Riley Photographic. Okay, so there it is, folks. That's the final step to this video series, is exporting your files. And what's relevant is the fact that we resize our files to 8 by 12 by 300 dpi. We put them in the customer folder so that every single file and every single folder is in a customer subfolder. So the Susan and Jeff subfolder. And we do a little bit of sharpening. So that's it. I'm done talking. I hope you learned something, and definitely drop us a line if you have any questions. Take care.